Hi, welcome back to Landfill Computers, where I'm Phil and these are computers. And today I'm going to show you how to update your Raspberry Pi in the EEPROM so that you can have USB booting. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to copy the instructions, the commands from the description below and put them in Notepad and save them. And we're going to save them to a second SD card or a second USB drive, whichever you have. So just a regular old text and save. We're going to start here on raspberrypi.org/downloads, and what you want to do is you want to pick one of these three links right here for your operating system: Windows, Mac, or Ubuntu. I have Windows, so that's what I'm going to pick, and as you can see, I've already downloaded it. If you have any issues, they've already spelled it out pretty easily in documentation. So we're just gonna follow this really quickly. It's not that hard. Mostly automatic actually now. The other thing is you want to make a file from Notepad with all the commands that I made. Yeah, so we'll just use a second USB to do that. And I have one. So for this update, you're gonna need two USBs. And again, just copy the commands that are in the description. Just make a Okay, so your first step is you're gonna download SD card formatter and write the card that you're gonna use. I'm using a Samsung 64 gig, and all you need to do is format it. Make sure it's a clean card. And then open up your Raspberry Pi imager. So choose your OS, and we're just going to use the first one. And choose the card. And click Write. And just wait for it to finish. Okay, so we have our Pi, and I got a case for this one. And you're going to take the SD card that you put PiOS in here, in the slot where it normally boots from. And we'll go ahead and plug everything in. And now I have a second SD card, and it has the file on it for the instructions. So I'll just put that in the 2.0 or the 3.0 slot. And then I have an Ethernet cord available, so I'm gonna plug that in. You don't need Ethernet. You can definitely use Wi-Fi, but you do need some type of internet connectivity. And we'll turn it on. And this is the normal boot process for a fresh install. All right, so we're here at the desktop and it's a brand new install, so we need to get started. And we're gonna click next and select I'm in the United States. You can select whatever country you're in. And my time zone is New York. So I use US layout and US language, or English language. And then you'll watch up here and it'll actually change the time. Next you want to set a password. And I just do a pin. And it should, again, I'm on Ethernet, so we'll skip the Wi-Fi, and it'll do an update. Okay, system update is done. And we need to restart. So it's going to restart, and it's going to take a minute because it's got a bunch of updates. But we're not done with the updates. And we're back. Okay, so what I like to do is I open up the SD card here, and I'll grab the file that I made in Windows and just put it right here on the desktop. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to open up Terminal. Just give it a click right there. And we're going to move this over here. And then we're going to open this guy with text editor. And resize. All right. So first, we're going to copy this one right in here and paste. And this is going to do extra updates. And it's going to download the software to actually do the Pi upgrade for the EEPROM. All right, then we do the next one. And this is going to install the updates. And then we're going to do this one. And you just click enter every time you paste the command. And it'll ask you, would you like to proceed down here? So we're going to hit yes. And this one might take a minute. So when this is done, we will have the first 3 steps. And step 4 will just be to reboot. And you can do it through the command prompt, or you can click the Raspberry Pi button at the top and reboot. Either one, doesn't matter. So there's a cautionary message here about rpi-update, that you shouldn't use it for regular updates. We're not doing a regular update. We are doing a EEPROM update. So you'll need this level of permission and to use this command to do this. Sudo reboot. And enter. Okay, now we're back. We're going to go ahead and open the text again in text editor and open up our command prompt again. So step 4 is done. Step 5. So we need to install this app, and we need to get all the words, all the letters. Copy and paste. All right. Now we need to edit this file right here. So we just copy paste, hit enter. And as you can see, it turns into its little file command prompt editor. So we're just gonna hit the arrow button over to critical. And we're going to backspace and write stable. And then hit crtl-x and the letter Y for yes. We're gonna save it and enter. So we change it from critical to stable. And then we can either do step 7 or 8. They're both pretty much the same. But here we can go ahead and check. Just to show you that I haven't done the update yet, we can use this line right here at any time. The vcgencmd, and as you can see, it's April 16, 2020 is the EEPROM for this Pi. So we'll check. This is the check one, number 7. And it says an update is available for the stable configs. And then we'll do number 8. And this is pretty much the same thing. It's gonna check and say it, but this time it's the -A means install it. And that's done. And now we need to do step 9, which is reboot again. All right, so we're back and we can go ahead and open the command prompt again and our commands. Sorry, don't double click it. You need to right click and open it with text editor. So we can do the check again and just find out if our thing took. So as you can see here, it says July 31st, 2020. And that means it took the new EEPROM. And all you need to know is if your EEPROM is after June 15th, 2020, it will be USB compatible. And this is the most stable release. So, and you can do this as many times as you need. All you have to do is start at step 7. Once you do 1 through 6, that's the SD card update and the OS update, and you're done. You just pop that SD card into any Raspberry Pi 4 and check for an update. And you can see which generation you have with this command here. See if it has been updated or not, or if it needs one. Okay, so we're back and we have the same SD card as the other Pi. This is a second Pi that actually have 10 Raspberry Pis, but this is another one. And we're just gonna use it in here. They're both the same. They're both Raspberry Pi 2 gigs. And we hook it up exactly the same way. But you don't need the second SD card this time because we saved the file to the desktop. And it should boot right up because the hardware is pretty much the same. The only thing that's changed was the MAC address. And there you go. Booted right in, no problem. All the updates from the other Pi are still here. They're in the OS, so 1 through 6 is already done. We do not have to open the EEPROM update and replace stable again. That has not changed. All we have to do is we can check the version. And there, it's July 15th, 2019. So it's over a year old. And we go to step 7. Actually, we can just skip that and go to step 8 because we know that there's an update. And we go to step 8. And it's done. And it's that easy. And you just update your EEPROMs in your BIOS or whatever on each Pi. And it takes less than a minute. Alright, so that was my guide to setting up your EEPROM on your Raspberry Pi. You should do this before you install any other OS, and this is probably the easiest way to do it. The USB 3 operating system loading off of that interface is so much faster than the SD card, and it really makes the Pi feel like an actual desktop computer. So this is my guide, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a like and subscribe to our channel.